Thank you very much for granting us this interview. First of all, the term agroforestry. Is there anything like agroforestry?
Oh,
How different is it? Because I know for sure that if we are talking about trees and crops, it started with agriculture itself.
it is the case, really.
So then, why do we need a new term for it, agroforestry?
Well, I think if you look at the history of agroforestry, which is not too long, we're talking about maybe 30 years of history. It started in the 80s, early 80s. And at that time, foresters and developers were concerned that agriculture was growing too much and the forest was being destroyed. And this dichotomy, this conflict between agriculture and forestry needed to be solved somehow. So they started looking for solutions, and then they realized that farmers were already doing a particular solution to these problems in the sense that trees and other shrubs and other woody perennials were managed as part of the production system in their farms, either for crops or for animal production systems. So this brought the idea that we need to look more into this kind of production system where you integrate in the same unit of land the tree and the agriculture as a way to solve this conflict between expansion of the agriculture and the deforestation, especially in the tropical land. So it was actually a historical issue, giving it this name, but the main fact is that the scientists and the developer realized that farmers were already managing trees for many purposes in their land, in their agricultural fields and in the pasture lands, but that we needed more to address this issue of managing the trees and the agricultural lands in a more objective and scientific manner. So that gave the opening for the agroforestry work and for the agroforestry as a science. It developed as a practice from the farmers. And actually, most of the agroforestry systems that you see today, they are not invented by the scientists. They're really traditional systems the farmers have invented and managed for many years, and now the scientists come to help farmers to make this system more efficient.
So, in a way, then agroforestry is crops and trees and animals, or any combination of these. But does any combination of any tree make a system agroforestry?
Well, in reality, scientists now have come to I would say, a very elegant definition of what agroforestry is. Because you think very hard, really, agroforestry means the management, judiciously, thinking, of the interactions between these trees, or in general woody perennials, because not only trees, no? Sometimes you always also have to work with shrubs and palm trees that are not really trees, or bamboos, or woody plants. So agroforestry really has to do with the management of the interaction between these woody perennial species and other components of the production system. And this management of the interaction is done in a way to satisfy the objectives of the land manager. So agroforestry is really just another managed production system that has a particular characteristic, is that you involve a woody perennial species and you think of how this woody perennial species interacts with the animals or with the crops or with the pastures.
So then how different is the trees they call multi-purpose from any other tree that I want to put in my farm?
Oh, this is a very fuzzy definition of the trees, I would say, because really almost all trees have multifunctional characteristics, multi-purpose. They provide shade, they provide timber, they provide forage, they provide fruits. And now we know they provide a lot of ecosystem services as well. So I would say it's a nice term, but it really means that when you manage this species, you are thinking that this species can provide you a range of goods and a range of benefits, and that you have to manage those goods and services in a very objective manner.